Do you regret your vote?
Yes, I do. Very much so. I feel shame, guilt, and anger at the same time.
Well, I'd say that's appropriate, as the rest of us also feel shame and anger that people like you voted for Trump because you're a so called low information voter, which is really just a nice way to say that you're a fool that couldn't be bothered to do a little research before you voted. And now we're all paying the price. So, hit subscribe to Really American Media, as it's time yet again for installment number 7 zillion in our ongoing series of FAFO, as MAGA voters fuck around and find out that they've been duped by a guy that wouldn't bother to piss on you if you were on fire. But hey, thanks for your vote, jackass.
I almost had him.
Yeah, and as Trump world laughs at their gullible sheep, meet George Doyles, a mega sheep that flocked around and just found out that discrimination, hey, it's all fun and games until it happens to you.
All of my life, 50 years I've been here, I've never been harassed by Border Patrol on this side of the border like this. This is outrageous.
George, the only thing that is outrageous is that you wanted to be part of a club that looks down their noses at people like you because of the color of your skin. Yet you figured it would never happen to you. You're an American citizen after all. But you voted for exactly this kind of thing. And now you are guilty until proven innocent.
That's George Doyles. He and his wife are from Imperial Valley, and they love to camp. So when they were headed up to a dental specialist in North County on Wednesday, they decided to explore Jacumba and this area around Boulevard. They headed up this road to see if they could find a campsite, and that's when they say their day took a very different turn.
We didn't think anything of it. We're an American citizens. We're on U.S. soil. Why should we be afraid?
Why should you be afraid? Well, if you had voted blue, you wouldn't need to be afraid. But since you voted for the Trump Reich, you should be afraid. You should be very afraid, as elections have consequences, and you're just now starting to figure out that Make America Great Again refers to a time when people of color had no rights, and masked men pulling you over is now literally a daily occurrence in this country that you voted for.
George and his wife Esmeralda say an unmarked SUV started following them and pulled them over. They say Border Patrol agents first approached wearing masks.
Who does that? Criminals do that. Robbers and thieves do that.
So she started to record.
So the reason why we're stopping you is because you did U-turns and there's a known alien out in the area.
He told the agents where they were going and that they did not consent to any search.
If you have a dentist appointment, it probably wasn't the best decision to be out in the middle of nowhere.
No, we have the right to travel anywhere we want to travel.
You do. You're absolutely right, you do. And I actually have the right and authority to stop you.
Well, first of all, yeah, criminals do wear masks, and so do the ICE Gestapo that you voted for. And they wear those masks so they can sleep at night. And what they said is true. I mean, they have the right to pull you over now and figure out a way to justify it later, if they even want to bother with that game. It's not like there's going to be any accountability from their bosses if they violate your civil rights. How cute. In Trump world, nothing is illegal if the president endorses it. And get ready, as that reality is about to settle in on this mega couple.
Why are we not allowed to be here? Because we're not white? Our skin doesn't match?
Yes, and that correct answer is just one you a no expenses paid trip to find out, Phil. It's a terrible place where the consequences of your actions smack you right between the eyes, and you're about to feel like a total mega fool. And if you look under your seat, as an added bonus, we've introduced you to empathy, apparently for the first time. Now you know how gay people feel, or how trans people feel, or how liberals felt when we saw this coming and tried to warn you all. But your desire to own us libs and be part of a good old boys club has blinded you, and now you see the light. And in your case, those lights were flashing red and blue.
The couple sat in their car as the agents brought a canine.
It's called reasonable suspicion.
So do you think that they had reasonable suspicion to stop you and search your vehicle?
Not at all. Not at all.
The dog did smell a small amount of legally purchased cannabis, so they got out for a full search. 30 minutes in, the agent says he could take their vehicle, but...
I'm going to go ahead and let you off with a warning.
And welcome to how it feels to have your rights violated. You know, that agent is kind of right. Law enforcement can pull you over if they have reasonable, articulable suspicion that you have committed a crime. But all that guy said was that there were reports of an alien in the area. And that's odd because I assume they are not looking for extraterrestrial life. But as far as so-called illegal aliens go, It's interesting. Remind me again, President Trump, what's the recent number of illegal aliens entering America?
The number of illegal aliens into the United States was zero.
Well, now I'm really confused. If that's the case, I would say that federal agent had zero reasons to be pulling that family over. You can't have it both ways, MAGA world. Either Trump is telling the truth and there are zero people crossing the border illegally right now, or we still have illegal crossings and ICE agents are justified in their actions. Go ahead and pick one. It's almost as if they're lying to us all. So tell us again, how do you feel about voting for Trump now that you do have permanent residency in Find Outville?
George and Esmeralda both voted for the first time in 2020 and again in 2024 for President Donald Trump. As they see his immigration crackdown,
Do you regret your vote?
Yes, I do. Very much so. I feel shame, guilt, and anger at the same time.
And all of those feelings, along with $6, will get you a cup of coffee. Oh, wait, the terrorist from Brazil just started. So all of those feelings, along with $9, will get you a cup of coffee. Welcome to what you voted for.
they were going to the dentist because George was injured in an accident that destroyed his jaw and nearly took his life. Esmeralda says the thought crossed her mind she could have almost lost him again.
We were sitting right here. I didn't know what to think.
They were once thinking about moving here.
I don't want to come back after this. No, we already got harassed once. Why do I want to come back and get harassed again?
Now they drive away carefully and they say traumatized.
Traumatized? Well, join the club and be sure to send your sorries to this scientist who was here legally but got detained at an airport for a week. You would be pissed off if your flight was delayed for an hour, let alone your freedoms being delayed for a week. Or shed a mega tear for this woman here legally, but was dumb enough to go on vacation, only to come home and get a free trip to a detention center in Georgia, where she will now reside for who the fuck knows how long. It's Trump's America. Or how about this guy that's self-deported because of what you voted for, and unlike President Bone Spurs, is an actual Purple Heart recipient.
In the United States, as some immigrant families fear the Trump administration's ICE crackdown, they are taking the painful decision to leave the United States, even if it means separating from their families. One such case is that of Se Jun Park, a U.S. Army veteran recently forced to self-deport back to South Korea over decades-old drug charges that were linked to PTSD that he suffered. The Purple Heart recipient and his attorney, Danny Cole Ramos, joined Michelle Martin to share his story of leaving behind the only country he's ever called home.
Yeah, he was awarded the Purple Heart and just fled our country over the guy that MAGA voted for and has redefined stolen valor. And he fully understands there's only one way he would ever get a Purple Heart.
You know, something very nice just happened to me. A man came up to me and he handed me his Purple Heart. I always wanted to get the Purple Heart. This was much easier.
Yes, that was easier. Well, stay tuned for more because the next episode of FAFO is surely unfolding at the moment and we'll be covering it here soon. So like this video, comment below, and get vocal. From the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve podcast, available right here under the Live tab. Check it out. I'm Steve Harness for Really American Media.